Drew here, back with another video, and today I will be ranking my least favorite team to my favorite team. A little disclaimer, this is just going to be my opinion. First team's going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. My least favorite team is the Toronto Maple Leafs because my favorite team does not like the Leafs, like their fan base hates the Leafs. And I don't really like their style of play too. The next team's the Philadelphia Flyers. Broderick Bullies. They beat my favorite team in the playoffs a couple of years ago. And they're just not a good team really, anyways. Too. And talking about bad teams, next team's the Arizona Coyotes. I don't like the Coyotes. They should move to Houston or Quebec or Kansas City. I don't really care where. They just move somewhere because their team's just not good this year at all. Even though they might get Shane Wright. The next team is the Boston Bruins. My fan base does not like Boston either. And I watch an awful lot of Bruins games, I find, because most of their games are like Saturday afternoons, I find. I don't like watching Saturday afternoon games. The next team is the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm not going to say why because it'll probably give away who my favorite team is. But they're too good, I find, to watch. Even though this year they went a level down, I find. The next team's the Vancouver Canucks. They're starting to turn around with new coach Bruce Boudreau. But Vancouver, if they play my favorite team, if they play any team, basically, I'll cheer for the other team, except the other teams that were back. The next team, the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't like the Chicago Blackhawks. They've been through some tough times this year. They're not doing well, even though I do like Marc-Andre Fleury. He got his 500th win, though, against my five. I might have just spoiled it, who my favorite team is, but, you never know. Next team's Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo's not that good of a team, I find, and they're just starting to turn around things this year, but I'm just not a big Buffalo fan. I like their city and their fans and stuff like that, but their team's so awful, I find, in my opinion. The next team, the Washington Capitals. I don't really know how to explain this. Washington's, I don't really like Ovi. Most people like him, but I don't really like him that much. I don't really like Tom Wilson either, even though I'd like to have him on my team. I'd like to have Ovi on my team, too. I'm just not that big of an Ovi fan. Next team, 23, is the Nashville Predators. I'm just not a big Nashville fan, I find. When we get into the top 20, that's where, the things where I get, my, favorites. But, Nashville, I don't really like them that much. If they play, most teams, I'll cheer for the other team, basically. Unless they're at home or something like that. The next team, 22, is the Dallas Stars. I don't like Dallas that much. It's a pretty shocking thing. Most of you might disagree with me, but I'm not a big Dallas fan. I am a big Anton Khudobin fan, definitely. But Dallas is just not a good team, I find. The next team is the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas is just one of those teams that I like, but then I'll watch them and then I'll really like them, or I'll really dislike them. And for this ranking, all the other teams, I kind of like more than Vegas, so that's basically why I show them at 21. Now we're getting into the top 20. For number 20, at the Anaheim Ducks. Love their jerseys. Not their newest ones, they're away and home, but they have to bring back Wild Wing. They have to. I find this really sick if they would bring the Disney's Mighty Ducks jerseys in the first movie. That would be unreal if that happened for Anaheim. And I like the reverse retro they used last year too. Number 19, we have the San Jose Sharks. We're getting into the Pacific teams now. We have Vegas, Anaheim, and now San Jose. San Jose, I like them. Like when they played Vegas in the playoffs a couple of years ago, I cheered for them in the playoffs because they were game 7, man. They were playing unreal. Um, and like there's also another bad side where like their last year I just find sloppy playing. Like they never had good goaltending. They do have good goaltending this year though, because they have Aiden Hill and James Reimer. They're some of my favorite goaltenders in this league, by the way. The next team's the Columbus Blue Jackets. A reason because I don't like the Blue Jackets because whenever they play my team, they always beat them. Like every game, I find, and they wanted to beat my team because they scored 10 goals, literally. And I'm just not a big Blue Jackets fan. I kind of like San Jose better than Blue Jackets. I kind of think a little bit, but I forgot. So I might as well do San Jose for 18, Blue Jackets for 19. The next team's the Calgary Flames. Like, out of all Canadian teams, they're like one of the bottom teams in my opinion for Calgary. Like, I don't. They have Andrew Mangiapane, but he's a really good player for Calgary too. But yeah, I just don't like Calgary. The next team is the Pittsburgh Penguins. I watched this team an awful lot last year. And I kind of like their team too. They have Crosby, which is one of my favorite players. They have Teddy Bluger. He's an underrated player, I kind of find, and he's a player that I actually really like. Obviously he's born in Latvia. I think he's born in Latvia. I might be wrong. But yeah, I am just not a big Pittsburgh fan, even though I kind of like them. The next team is the Winnipeg Jets. They're just like a meh to me. Like, I don't mind them, but like then again, I kind of don't. And talking about that, Paul Maurice resigned. Obviously, I really liked him as the coach for Winnipeg. 14, we have the Seattle Kraken. Even though I do like watching the Kraken, the Kraken are just a really good team. Not this season, though. In a couple of years, I think they will, because they'll have Matty Beniers. But Seattle, it's a team that I like, but then I don't like. I don't know why I really don't like them. But like all the other teams I'm about to say, I'd cheer for better. 13, we have the New Jersey Devils. I really like them, even though they have Dawson Mercer, which is a Newfoundlander-born player, and I hope that he'll have a successful career. I like Jack Hughes as well. And I like Nico Hischier. There's a lot of players on the Devils that I really like, and Mackenzie Blackwood, of course, their goaltender. Number 12 is the Los Angeles Kings. Like, Los Angeles is kind of like a team that I would, like, maybe cheer for if they like played the Devils, for example. Like, I honestly don't know what team I cheer for. I'd probably just watch the game, I suppose. But they have like Drew Doughty, which is actually my name. So number 12 for Los Angeles. That's pretty good. Number 11 is the New York Islanders. I like Matthew Barzal. I like Anders Lee too. I'm a big Ryan Pollock fan too. He's an underrated defenseman, I find. And same thing for Adam Pelech. Now we're getting into the top 10. Number 10 is the St. Louis Blues. They won the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago too. And I cheered for them when they made the finals against Boston too. But I'm a pretty big Blues fan. I really like watching them play. The next team's the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit is one of my family's favorite teams to watch because they were such a gosh darn good team back in like the 2000s and the 1990s and every time back there. But now they're in a playoff spot right now, but I don't know if they'll hold it. Like they have Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond and all those other good players. No, I'm a big Red Wings fan. Number 8, I have the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes I find are a really good team. Even though they have Barry Kotkaniemi, he's one of my least favorite players now, since what he said about since he is just, I don't like his attitude from when he left a team. But the next team is the New York Rangers. I'm wearing their jersey today also too. I like Alexis Lafreniere. I like Capo Caco. I also like Niels Lundqvist. Obviously Henrik Lundqvist retired. He was probably my favorite player on the Rangers before he retired. Before he signed with Washington as well. The next team's the Edmonton Oilers for number 6. I like Connor McDavid. I like Leon Draisaitl. I like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I like Zach Hyman. I like Darnell Nurse. There's a lot of players I really like on the Edmonton Oilers. That's why I have them ranked really high for number 6. Number 5 is the Colorado Avalanche. I like Nathan MacKinnon really much. He's from Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia. Same place Sidney Crosby was born, and it's close to Newfoundland as well. And yeah, that's basically why I like Colorado, because they have a lot of good players. And Alex Newhook, a Newfoundland-born player that plays for Colorado. Now, number 4, we have the Florida Panthers. I really like watching Florida play. Like, they're just dominant when they play a team. They weren't a good team like 3 years ago or a dozen years ago. The next team, number 3, so we're getting in the top 3 now. We have the Minnesota Wild. I love Minnesota's jerseys. They probably have the best in the league, even though the reverse retro was like a Subway type of jersey. Minnesota is going hot. By the way, they're also my favorite Western team, and they're also my favorite American team. And now number 2, we have the Ottawa Senators. I watch Ottawa a lot, and their young players like Brady Tkachuk, Tim Stützle, Thomas Chabot, Drake Batherson. They have such a good young players. And I really like Tim Stützle, and I really like watching Ottawa play, even though Matt Murray is now playing in Belleville. And there's something about Ottawa that I really like about him. And number 1, you probably know what it is now, because I've probably spoiled it a lot. It's the Montreal Canadiens. And talking about it, why would I have this flag behind me if I wasn't a Montreal fan? Like, what if I had, like, a Philadelphia one there? Like, you guys would all think I'm a Philadelphia fan. That kind of spoiled it, too. I'm wearing a Montreal shirt under here, as you can see. Montreal has been my favorite team ever since I loved hockey. Not having a good season, but I'm just that big Montreal fan. I love Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, a little bit of Ben Sherratt, even though he might be getting traded soon. If he does, I'll probably make a video about that. And yeah, Montreal is my favorite team out of all of these teams, and my least is Toronto, because Montreal fans hate Toronto, and that's why I like Montreal. So, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I am singing on doing a room tour for my next video. That might be my next video. The COVID stuff around the NHL is just going nuts. I want you guys to stay safe and healthy. There might be a lockdown soon here in Newfoundland, so that means that there might be more videos getting posted onto YouTube, especially during the Christmas break. There will be a lot of videos being posted. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, you can like the videos. There's no dislike button anymore, so you might as well like the video. You can subscribe if you really liked it. You can follow me on TikTok. My username is Drew_3111. That's it for this video, guys. I will talk to you all again soon.